Hey, how's it going? And welcome to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. Still in the garage, and this week I'm reviewing Blair Athol 11-year-old from the Single Cask. It's 72 bottles, there's 72 bottles of this stuff. It's 11-year-old, bottled at 53.6% ABV, non-chill filtered, no added colouring. The cask, for information, is 301462 Bravo. So B, I don't know why I said Bravo. There's not really any, these don't come with tasting notes. I think they've got tasting notes on the site. This is almost certain this is an octave cask. It's obviously sherried and it's dark. It's you struggle to see through that. You can just see through it because of the light. But it's a very, very dark whiskey. So I've been getting back into sherry, and it's just been hitting the spot for me, sherry, for some reason. So yeah, hopefully this goes the same way. I've had a couple drams out of this, not really written any notes. It's just been one I've kind of been sipping away at. I'm not sure, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I can't remember. I can't remember if I've been enjoying it or not. Obviously I'm a big Blair Athol fan. These single casks, you tend to be quite good whiskies. The prices are just a little bit over the top, I'd say, or maybe not over the top, but they're just a little bit more expensive than normal whiskey. Maybe the bottle has something to do with that, a kind of fancier bottle, but this was £85 if I'm right, which is a little expensive for an 11-year-old. If we look at that Brave Alley just done last week, same kind of 50%, obviously it's a finish rather than fully matured, but that is pretty cheap for a 19-year-old, and then we've got this 11-year-old, and it's Blair Athol. Blair Athol's not a very expensive distillery in terms of independent bottles. You can get a lot of cheap Blair Athols, but we'll see what the whiskey is like and we'll determine if it's worth it, and we'll see if it's a whiskey win or a whiskey bin. So like I said, I've not taken any notes for this, and like I've said, I honestly can't remember what I think of this whiskey. So, oh, that is very chocolatey. I've got water here as well because it's 53%, 53 did I say, 53.6%. And it's very prickly on the nose for sure. There's definitely a bit of a heat there, but straight away chocolate, and it's probably one of the most prominent chocolate whiskies, prominent noses from a whiskey that I've experienced. That chocolate, it's almost like sniffing like chocolate Baileys or something. It's that chocolatey, like kind of almost artificially added chocolate. Like you would think this would say something like with added chocolate because of the nose. Other than the chocolate, I don't know if it's maybe just the alcohol, but I feel like there's some mint there. Quite minty, menthol. But that might be because the alcohol it's very prickly on the nose. The palate, I think I'm going to have to add water for the nose. The nose is kind of gone away from me. So, yeah, it needs water. I've had this a couple of times and now it's coming back to me what my kind of initial verdicts are on it without water, and that is, one, it needs a hell of a lot of water, and two, it's kind of like every other octave I've had with regards to sherry, where it's matured in it. I think I had a Speyside Distillery 23-year-old from Bartels, I think they're called, and it was this kind of, it's just all sherry, very aggressive sherry, because it's obviously that quarter, that octave cast is an eighth of a sherry cast, maybe not a quarter, or is it a quarter? Octave makes me think of eight. Anyway, it's the small size of the cask obviously has a lot more interaction with the whiskey, and this is why only after 11 years it's got this much colour. But I'm going to add some water. I'd say that's the only, that might be something I need to look towards in the future, is maybe staying away from octave casks, or whiskies that are finished in octave casks are probably okay, but whiskies that are fully matured maybe seem to be a bit too much. But we'll add water, we'll strip it back, and we'll see how this opens up, because it is kind of coming back to me now. I do remember this whiskey. Still chocolatey, but now we're getting Now we're definitely getting cigar leaf, tobacco leaf if you will. There's a little bit of a char there, almost as if it's a kind of smoked out cigar, a burnt out cigar. The day after, your ashtray, if you've ever smoked a cigar, or just even ashtrays in general, but not cigarettes, but a cigar ashtray after, just full of tobacco leaf, full of kind of, burnt cigar leaf. Still prickly, it could probably do with a little bit more chopping, a little bit more water adding. That menthol is definitely peppermint. It's chewing gum kind of flavour, like extras. It's not as strong as like Airwaves or anything like black mint, but it's definitely minty, kind of toothpaste or chewing gum. That could still be the alcohol. I'll try a wee bit of it with this little bit of water. Opened up a little. I'm going to add a little bit more water. It's now more, it's quite nice in the palate with that water. It's a bit more caramel. Definitely sweet. If you're not into a sweet whiskey, this is definitely a dessert whiskey. This is a whiskey for after your dinner, not one for before. I'm trying to think where I was in a pub recently and they had a porter. I like going off in tangents. They had a porter and it was a kind of chocolatey porter, and I asked for a little taste of it and there was no way I was drinking that. It was so sweet. But then after I had my dinner, I had a little half pint of it and it was fine. It just had to be in the right circumstance. This is that. This is why I'm trying to relate that. This has to be in the right circumstance. You can't drink this before your dinner. It's probably not good right before bed or anything, or your first dram. This should be your kind of, this should just be an aperitif after dinner. It's almost reminiscent of Glenmorangie Signet. The nose is definitely opening up now. You're getting, that's good. Yeah, getting more umami flavours now. It's not just that sweetness. You're getting a little bit of like I want to say, like a baked potato, with butter. Maybe a baked potato with garlic and herb, cream cheese melted on it, but with ham or smoked ham, something like that. I know this is very specific, but this is what it's making me think of if I close my eyes. Thinking of a cooked baked potato, nice and warm, garlic and chives or cream and chives, sour cream and chives, whatever, that kind of Philadelphia spread, melted on top of it with ham, smoked ham, or like almost burnt, smoked, like crispy ham, almost verging on bacon, but I want to say ham. And then there's obviously all that sweetness that's there, that was still there, the cigar leaf that was still there. But with the addition of water, it's went more kind of the umami side of things. Yeah, fantastic, really, actually. It's so much better with the water. A little touch of smoke, but very subtle. Not peat or anything like that, just touch of smoke. The palate. So the palate has dulled down a little, but it's still a nice whiskey. It's the caramel still there. It's like I'm trying to think what I would relate it to. It's like a curly wurly. These chocolate sweets you get in Scotland. I don't know if they're UK, if they're UK wide, but it's basically a chocolate caramel, chewy caramel that sticks to your teeth. So there's definitely chocolate there in the palate as well. That caramel, that curly wurly. I'm trying to think what other. It's a chewy caramel, a chewy toffee kind of flavour rather than kind of hard brittle like Dame or Dime or anything like that. so more that chewy side of things. There's, I want to say, like Wheatos, which is a kind of children's cereal, although I still have it to this day. It's a chocolate cereal like Cheerios, so they're little hoops, but they're chocolate flavoured. They're Wheatos. They must be made with wheat, as all cereals, most cereals are, cereal, a chocolatey cereal, chocolate barley, chocolate malt. That's what's in this glass. There's still that kind of potato element. I don't know where the hell that's coming from, but it's weird. There's like a potato element here somewhere. More on the palate. Rose water or something like that. Yeah, it's quite fragrant, rose water or something. And also I want to say a little bit of charring. I don't know if this whiskey has been in a charred cask. I've had these bottles before where the char kind of congregates at the bottom of the glass. It all comes together at the bottom, but this doesn't look like it's got any char in it or any essence of char that I can see. It's rather just quite clear, obviously, other than there's a bit of sediment and stuff in there. But yeah, quite fragrant. Caramel, rose petal or rose water. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. It's not like too sickly or anything. It's just manageable with that water. It's more approachable with the water. I'm trying to think if there's anything like prunes or dates or any of those kind of typical sherry flavours, but it's just, yeah, I think the weird potato, the rose petals and the caramel, the nose with the water is more is better than the palate. With the water, the palate could have done with maybe just a little less water, but it's still nice. I'm still enjoying it. The finish is probably medium. I don't think it's long at all. I would say medium. It's more chocolate on the finish. It's definitely a dessert whiskey. There's actually a little bit of kind of apple flesh or something on the finish, like green apple flesh, green, yeah, a little bit bitter, a little bit drying, and a little bit appley. Maybe that ties in with the potato. I don't know if it does, but yeah, there's something like that in the finish. And other than that, that's probably about it. To be honest, I'll just take the last of this in. Yeah, other than that, maybe also in the finish, nearly knocked all those over, maybe also in the finish a little bit of smoke. Yeah, a little bit of smoke. Nothing, like I said, nothing peaty or anything like that, just smoky. A little bit of charring, something burnt, something like that. Maybe the inside of the cask, if it has been charred, maybe just a slight char and a subtle char. But yeah, we'll get down to the rating. So, do I think it's worth it? No. No, I don't think it's worth it. It's a good whiskey. You're able to add some water to it. You're able to chip away at it. But there's other Blair Athol for similar prices at older ages, or older ages. So there's other Blair Athol that are older and maybe cheaper. There's other younger Blair Athol that's cheaper, that's better. And I think the kind of selling point for this is the colour. Sorry, I've just burped, but it's obviously the colour. The octave cask is what's kind of pushing the whiskey, driving the whiskey, obviously, and it's a little too much for me. Like I said, it's a lot better with water, but anyway, I don't think it's worth it at £80 or £85. It's just a little on the pricier side. And I have bought from the Single Cask a couple of times, quite a few times to be fair. I went through a phase where I bought quite a few of the bottles so that I could try them. but I think I'm at the stage now where I've got a grasp of the quality of the whiskey, and the whiskey is, I mean, I've got other ones to review anyway, but the whiskey is good. There's no denying that, but if I'm looking to save money and buy whiskey, or basically just look out for my wallet, I'm going to go elsewhere, because there's other whiskey, and there's an abundance of independent bottlers that are selling similar whiskey for cheaper. And I'm like I said, I'm not saying this is a bad whiskey at all. It's just I don't think it's worth the price. So I don't think it's worth the price. I wouldn't buy it again either, because of the price. But I would recommend this one. It's one to try. I've got loads of it. I'll try and get samples out to people. Definitely one to try. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it. But it's just the price that kind of fails for this whiskey. Or for me it fails in that end. So unfortunately, although I'm enjoying it, and although that I'm still drinking it and will still drink it and enjoy it, it's a whiskey win. It's a whiskey bin, because of the price. It's just not justifiable. I cannot justify spending that again. I mean, yeah, 11-year-old looking at it, you probably could have said to me, yeah, that's probably not worth it. But this could have been absolutely spectacular, and then I might have been on to a winner. It's still good, like I said, but not a whiskey win, unfortunately. So a whiskey bin. What I would like to see from the Single Cask, they're obviously doing a great job with regards to their marketing and with their sales. But what I personally, as a consumer, would like to see is just normal bottles and cheaper prices. Because I'm assuming these bottles do add to the price. Or the end cost, the end market price, because they are quite fancy, they're quite heavy. But I think a normal bottle, but to be fair, they do these for marketing reasons. They stand out on shelves, so you can easily recognise it. And if you're at a pub or whatever, a bar, you might see that on the shelf and think something else of it. But as a whiskey drinker myself, who drinks a lot of whiskey, it's just a little bit too expensive and not one that I could justify buying over and over again. But yeah, that's the review. Hope it wasn't too negative towards the end. Thanks for watching. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.